uh, a radically different time zone. We'll say Australia or the UK, Singapore, Malaysia, somewhere else. We are so glad to have you in your evening time or early morning time. We have 900 people almost registered for this webinar. 4 pages that matter on your website. I have to tell you guys, super excited about what you're going to learn from Clay today. Paul and I are co-hosting. Now, I do have to say, Paul Evans, blogger at paulbevans.com, also the owner at nicheology.com. You guys have seen us work together before. We're business partners for DIY marketing success. All that to say, he is on another call right now. He's going to be joining us in a few minutes, and he's going to be helping Clay wrap up, because you guys know I'm the proud, super proud, honored, thrilled, lucky, blessed mom of 4, and they all start getting out of school in about an hour. So I'm going to be here and there and leaving you with Clay and Paul. So thrilled that you are here. You're going to learn so much. I have been implementing these strategies in my business for the past 3 months. I didn't want to bring this webinar to you until Paul and I actually had implemented a lot of this, and we are happy, happy, happy about it. So excited. Power of networking. Let me tell you one real quick story. Clay and I met briefly at a live seminar a couple of Januaries ago. He'd kind of be following my work. Said he had kind of a business crush on me, which I think is super cute since I'm old enough to be his much older sister. And then we connected because James Schramko, my friend in Australia, said to me, "You've got to meet Clay. Let me personally introduce you." Because of Clay, because of that introduction, I introduced him to Paul. I just introduced him to somebody else who I'm connected with. Guys, don't discount networking. Don't discount your social connections. Don't discount the people that you meet live. It may not benefit you immediately, but I promise you it's going to benefit you in the long run. For instance, just implementing this in my business has been a huge, huge help. Okay, so if you don't know who I am, if you're from Paul's audience and you don't know me, Carrie Wilkerson, author of The Barefoot Executive, The Ultimate Guide to Obtaining Financial Freedom and Being Your Own Boss. I also blog at Carrie, C-A-R-R-I-E, Wilkerson.com. And then Paul Evans is my co-host. He blogs at Paul, B as in boy, Evans.com. Actually, I like to say Paul, B as in brat,
Hey, watch it.
Evans.com.
Don't
Hey,
be
here
ugly.
he is. Hey, brother. Whoops, I thought you were still climbing the ladder to get to the microphone.
Listen, I had to put them on hold. I heard my name being messed up over here. And I want to be clear too. I've not met Clay in person. I've seen a lot of his work and have talked to him before. He does not have a business crush on me, so we'll just keep rolling.
But Paul and I are business partners, and you might notice we're really close friends. So we will probably taunt and tease each other. We're like Kelly and Regis. He's the old cranky one, short, and I am the cute young one with all the kids that are in matching clothes. Okay, so Clay, welcome to our webinar. Clay's already laughing. We are really serious and buttoned up and follow protocol here at the Barefoot Executive and Nicheology. I hope you can hang. So Clay is approximately 12 years old. He was a child prodigy programmer.
Oh, gosh.
And wow, he makes Paul look so old. It's just crazy.
Okay, for the
Watch
record, I'm
it.
32.
Unbelievable.
32, is that what you said?
I'm 32, but apparently I have a baby face. Yeah.
32, whatever. That's what your fake ID says. No way are you 32. Anyway, so he's a genius programmer, and this is what I love. His tools and his strategies are for marketers, by marketers. Super, super smart stuff. So, okay, Clay, Paul, and I want you to talk to everybody about the 4 pages that matter. Hey, everybody, if you're on Twitter, first of all, I think you need to be super focused, but if you're on Twitter and you want to follow a hashtag, we're going to use the hashtag, which is the number 4 and pages. All right, so if you're tweeting and you hear something awesome, make sure you tweet 4 pages, but also send them the registration link to the webinar, not just the access link, but the registration link. I will lead that conversation off. So guys, I'm going to mute my microphone. I know you're so excited. I'm going to mute my microphone and I'm going to head over to the tweet chat. So Clay, you and Paul, take it away.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, well, thank you for that amazing intro, Carrie and Paul. And so let's get started. I was laughing so hard I didn't know if I'd be able to start this one off, but I think I'm doing okay. So we're going to be talking about the four most important web pages in your business and how to tweak them to double your revenue in the next 12 months. A couple things about that title. The reason that I came across this information that I'm about to share with you is a while back ago, I was looking at how to double my business. And it seemed like there were several different ways to do it. One way to do it was to double my traffic. And honestly, that seemed kind of difficult. I didn't know exactly how I do that. I didn't really want to do paid traffic, uh, just because it costs money. I didn't want to have to resort to SEO. So I didn't know how I was going to double my traffic. So I kind of said, well, let's just not double our traffic just yet. So then I thought, well, what's another way to double our business? And the next thought occurred to me that I could double the conversion rate on my sales pages. That seemed kind of daunting. We were already doing pretty well in terms of the conversion rate on our sales pages. So then the next thought I had was, well, what if I could double the conversion rate on my landing pages, on my opt-in pages, on the pages that people go to get onto my email list? And I set about doing that, and it was actually pretty easy. It didn't take a whole ton of work to double the conversion rate on my registration pages. And that is essentially how we doubled our business. And actually, by doing that, we doubled our business, we doubled our revenue 4 months in a row. at the very end of last year of 2012. And that got me thinking about the different tweaks that we could make in our business that, with very little impact and very little effort could create a huge result. And that led me to this presentation on the four most important web pages in your business and how to tweak them to double your revenue in the next 12 months. So basically, I'm going to try and show you, and I am going to show you what we did to double our revenue 4 months in a row with the knowledge that you can do the same thing just once, not 4 months in a row, but just once over the course of an entire 12 months. So I know this is possible. I want to thank everyone for coming here. There are people here from around the world. As I saw registrations pour in, I was really just kind of like humbled that people wanted to see this content. And I was also just really grateful for a lot of my customers showing up here as well who heard this webinar was happening and just wanted to show up in support of what we're doing. So I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank my customers for coming. And I also want to thank folks who arrived here, even though it's an inconvenient time where they live. So thanks to everyone here in Australia, in Africa, and in Malaysia and Singapore and in various parts of the world where this isn't a convenient time. So thank you so much for being here. I know some people had to get babysitters and really move things around to make this work. So I commit to you that I will show up on behalf of you in the same way that you are showing up here on behalf of your business and the work that you're doing in the world and your mission and purpose. I want to encourage you to write down questions as soon as you have them, to stay actively engaged. This isn't an automated webinar. I know a lot of people are fans of doing automated webinars. This isn't one. This is live. And so as soon as you have a question, I encourage you to ask it. So stay actively participating in the content. Ask yourself questions and ask me questions. And it is my absolute commitment to you that I will answer every single major type of question that is asked. And I might not be able to answer that question as soon as you ask it. In fact, I'm going to be answering the majority of the questions at the end of the webinar. But please ask the questions as soon as you have them. Be actively engaged, and we'll get them all answered at the end of the webinar. So what is this webinar going to do for you? Well, during the next bit of time we have together, I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step business plan that could double your online business revenue in the next 12 months. It certainly did this for us. I used to teach this kind of information. I used to charge for this kind of information, but I don't anymore because we have a software company. So it's not like I've got some book of secrets that I'm going to try and sell to you, and I'm going to only give you like 4 out of 12 of them, and in hopes that you'll buy like the rest in my magic book that I'm going to sell to you. I have nothing like that. I have no motivation whatsoever to hold back anything from you. Again, our company doesn't make money by selling information. It makes money by selling software. So there's really no holds bar here. My number one priority and objective is to give you the tools to make these changes in your business and in your life. So if you have a question, ask it. I'll tell you everything I know, frankly. Um, the information that we have here is both good for our customers, and the theory is broadly applicable to a lot of businesses. So I'm going to be giving you an entire evergreen business plan. And it is, in fact, we've heard this from a lot of sources, and I'll let you be the judge of this, but I believe that this might be the most valuable webinar you've ever been on. And I want to hear from you either way at the end of this webinar if it was. So I believe, though, and I know that there's a ton of value here, and I'm putting my heart and soul into this, and also a whole lot of split testing and different tests we've run. So there's, literally, 20, 30, $40,000 worth of money that we've invested in doing the split tests that have created the data that we're about to show you here. Actually, that's a really low estimate when you include personnel and the people we've hired and subcontractors. But anyway, there's at least tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of split testing data that you're going to be getting from us. Again, this isn't an informational tease. I don't have some book or some course that I'm going to try and sell you, so I have no motivation to hold back. So I'm going to give you everything and tell you everything I can during this time. We're going to run for about an hour and a half. Again, type down your questions as soon as you have them. And also, I want you to write down action items that you're going to take. A lot of people are fans of taking notes and recording like cute, pithy sayings and interesting like curiosity points. I don't want you to write down any of that. I want you to write down things to do. I want you to write down action items that you're going to take in the next 24 hours, because everything that I'm going to be teaching you here is something that you can implement very quickly, and the vast majority of what I'm going to be teaching you can be implemented within 24 hours. So that's what I want you to do. We're going to be covering a lot of material very, very quickly, and I don't want you to be obsessed with recording everything. That's why I said only write down action items that you're going to take. And we're recording this webinar, and at the end of this webinar, I'm going to tell you how you can get an MP3 of this webinar, obviously for free. So you can listen to it again. You don't need to scramble and take all the notes. I'm going to be giving all of that to you and telling you how you can get that at the end of this webinar. A little bit about me. I freaking love marketing. And the reason why I love marketing is because it's saved me in so many ways. A lot of people don't know this, but when I was 15 years old, I left home and started my first software company. And that software company failed. And it failed not because my product wasn't good. It didn't fail because we didn't care or work hard. I don't even believe it failed because I was young and inexperienced. It failed because we didn't get marketing. We didn't know how to communicate the value of what we provided to the world in a way that created desire. And, ever since sort of that experience I had at 15 with my first company going under, I think I had sort of the knowledge that I needed to get this marketing thing handled. And so that's what I did. And fast forward 15 or so years, and we do have marketing handled. And some of the top marketers in the world, and I'll show you, use our products and our software. And it's changed my life. It's given me the ability to work from home, to take my family on vacations, and first and foremost, it's given me the ability to get up every single day and do what I love and create stuff of value, knowing that I have the means to communicate that value to the world. And so without this one thing being in place, without if I didn't get marketing handled, everything else in my business and frankly my life as an entrepreneur would be stifled. And so that's why I love it. It's given me the ability to do what I want to do. A little bit about me. I'm the co-founder of a company called LeadBright. It's a software company, along with my co-founders, Tracy and Simon. We are a 10-person company. So we almost all of our employees are North America based, and we're having a blast. We're all having the time of our lives. We're growing quickly, and it's just a wonderful period to be doing all of this. But the mission of our business is to take the best and the latest of what's been tested and proven in marketing and create software that just does it for you. So I used to teach courses on how to create landing pages, for example. And at one point, it dawned on me that instead of creating an entire course about how to create landing pages and showing everyone all the marketing principles and everything behind it, that I could just create software that just does the best marketing practices so that business owners can concentrate on other things that they need to do in their business. So rather than teaching with information, I give people tools that have embedded within those tools all the things that they should be doing. So that's the purpose of LeadBright, is to take the latest of what's been proven in marketing and just do it for you. I'm the host of the marketing show. I'm a domain investor, and I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15. So how do you know if you're in the right place? Well, you're in the right place if you know that your website is not on par with the goals that you have for your business. If you have large, wonderful, like just beautiful goals for your business that like make your soul happy, and you go to your website and your website is not a reflection of what you love about your business, and it seems totally out of sync with where you're at sort of vibrationally with your business. If you feel totally out of sync, then you're in the right place. You're in the right place if you've been meaning to update your sales letters, your landing pages, your webinar registration pages, etc., for a long time, but the task of doing this seems daunting and none of the tools out there seem to work, right? I know I've been in a position in my business before where it's like literally been 2 years since I updated some of my landing pages and some of my webinar registration pages. And it just felt like my business itself was outdated and old, and that I was sending the wrong signals to the marketplace because of how long it had taken us to get to these things that we just had neglected in our business. And if you're also there, then you're in the right place. You're in the right place if you don't tell your friends about your website because it embarrasses you, frankly. Like if you have a little website shame, then you're in the right place. You're in the right place if instead of upgrading the most important pages in your business, right? Landing pages, sales pages, squeeze pages, the pages that actually make you money and build your audience and bring more leads into your business. If instead of working on the most important, highest leverage pages in your business, you find yourself procrastinating by writing another blog post and playing around on social media and ignoring the big levers in your business, then you're in the right place. I blog religiously. I'm a big fan of being there and addressing people on social media, but none of that means anything if my sales pages don't convert, if my landing pages don't convert, and if the most important pages that like generate wealth for our business, if those pages don't convert, then none of that matters. And I used to procrastinate on those most important pages in my business by distracting myself with so many different things. And I'm here to say that you don't need to do that, that there's really only 4 key pages in your business that you need to focus on. And that if you focus on these, if you spend a good week or so focusing on these, that you can double your business. So this is W. Edwards Deming. He's been quoted way too much. And so I'm going to continue that trend and quote him as well. But he was a PhD statistician who was in a lot of ways responsible for the rebirth, the economic rebirth of Japan after World War II. At least he was one of the people responsible. And he went in there to help them revive their economy. And he said this. He said 94% of all failure was the result of a system that failed. And I believe that when it comes to online marketing, we have a system that has failed us. 98% of online businesses fail, and something is wrong. And I believe, just as W. Edwards Deming said, I believe that the system is broken, and I believe that we need a new system desperately. And so I'm going to show you the lead pages system. And this system relies on concentrating on 4 pages in your business and 4 pages only, and getting the fundamentals right. No matter how big you are, getting the fundamentals right to create explosive growth in your business. And so we're about to look at each page and how it fits into the overall system. So page 1 is the resource guide squeeze page. So here it is. And as you can see, it's extremely, extremely simple. Hold on 1 second. Just give me 2 seconds here. Sorry about that. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Be right back.
So this is going to be the portion of the program that Paul sings a little ditty for us. So
Well,
Paul,
I've been doing more rapping, so I may do that instead.
please don't.
May do some
Brother,
very
please
light
don't.
rapping. Bring it
Hey, so
down.
you guys, if you're not on tweetchat.com yet, this would be a good time. Go over to tweetgrid.com or tweetchat.com. Having a conversation with the hashtag, the number 4 and pages, taking some notes there. So while Clay, I think he dropped his chalk. So
I did. All right. Well, so go ahead, Carrie.
Are we good? Are we set?
Yeah, we are totally good, and we are totally set.
I'm good. I'm glad, because I was scared that Paul was going to put on that big chain necklace and start with that rap. Yikes.
Hey.
All right. So this is about sort of the 4 most important pages in your business as part of the lead pages system. And the first page is the resource guide squeeze page. And here is the resource guide squeeze page. And this is the highest converting, best performing website or page we've ever had in our entire business. And the copy is extremely simple. Free report reveals the top 5 dirt cheap tools I use to create all my videos, including my $80 HD video camera. Now, there's a number of reasons why this page converts so well. One interesting fact about conversion is when you have a subject on the page who's actually looking at the conversion point, conversions increase. But the opt-in rate on this page is phenomenal. It's through the roof. And let me go ahead and show you the page that folks actually get when they opt in on that page. So when people opt in on this page, let's see, they are sent to this report. And as you can see, it is a very short report. It's 1 page. It took me about 20 minutes to type up this page. So it didn't take very long at all to create this page. And so this report has really been killing it for us, and this landing page it's outperformed anything we've ever done. So why is this the best performing landing page we've ever used? Well, the first reason is that it doesn't require someone to process too much information, right? Someone doesn't have to watch a 3-minute video or read an entire page of copy in order to make a decision. All they have to figure out is if they want the 5 dirt cheap tools I use to create all my videos. That's all they have to figure out. The second thing about this is that everyone wants to know the tools that you're using. We have a belief that if we, and in a lot of cases, it's absolutely true. It's certainly been true in my business, but a lot of people want to believe that if they only had the tools that the pros use, and if they only knew what those tools were, that they would have results like the pros. Um, you'll notice in lots of niche magazines that the most popular issues of those magazines are the buyer's guide. So if it's, Cigar Aficionado, it's, the top 20 cigars of the year, or if it's Golf Digest, it's the gear guide, right? If it's Backpacker magazine, it's the gear guide that comes out every single year. And those guides basically just list products that people should buy. But those are, again, usually the most popular issues of those magazines because everyone wants to know the tools that you're using. Another reason why this converts so well is that it outperforms webinar registration pages. Not everyone is as dedicated as the folks on this webinar, right? Not everyone wants to show up for a webinar. So this takes very little commitment. It takes very little time to figure out whether or not it's something that you want to watch, and everyone wants tools. Some more about this. This outperforms a free report, or at least a landing page to download a free report, because a lot of folks are experiencing information overload and don't want something else to read. They don't want another 20-page or 30-page guide, especially when they just encounter you for the very first time. This also outperforms video bribes, right? Where you opt in to download a video. Because the perceived value of video has really gone down a lot recently due to the proliferation of launches and the proliferation of video on sites like YouTube. And again, lack of time. You have to sit down and watch a 10-minute video, and a lot of people don't want that. They just want to know the tools that you're using. This also outperforms opt-ins for a free coaching session, which goes to show that greater value in an opt-in bribe or a lead magnet does not necessarily equal higher conversion rates, right? What's more valuable than your time? Nothing. It's one of the few things that we have a finite amount of. And yet this report, right, which took me 15 minutes to make, I'll show it to you again, is beating all of these other kinds of bribes. Or lead magnets as they're called. So the time to benefit ratio for this is high. It only took me like 2 to 3 minutes to come up with this headline, and it only took me about 20 minutes to write that free report, which is really unfortunate because I've spent like weeks creating free courses to give away as opt-in bribes, and they underperform this single page that I created in 20 minutes, which is unfortunate. So you can create one of these landing pages in minutes. In fact, let me go ahead and show you how you would create one of these pages with our Lead Pages software. We're just going to go to templates here, and there's a number of different pages that we have available for this kind of thing. I'm going to use this one because it's the one that I showed to you. As you can see, it's mobile responsive, so it works on mobile devices, it works on Facebook. And to change the logo, you would just click on the logo. You can upload your own logo if you want to. You can change the background very easily, so I'm going to just use a finger pointing, right, because that increases conversion rate, although that fingernail is kind of weird. So what's another scene we could use? Something like this looks kind of good. Maybe we'll go back to that finger just for a second. So we did that. You can change the headline pretty quickly. Just download my free thing. And you can integrate it with your opt-in form very, very easily. So I'm going to say that I want to integrate this with Aweber. This integrates with all the major email service providers. I believe we support 8 or so. And if I want to integrate this with Aweber, I just have to click on the list that I want it to integrate with. So when people opt in on this page, it adds them to the list that I just sent them to. And I can actually have them, when they opt in, not only add them to this list, but register them for a webinar. So that's all it takes to create this kind of page. Let's just call it finger demo. And we can instantly publish it to Facebook or WordPress or whatever. Here's a instant link to this page. So a little bit about how you can apply this to your business. If you're a real estate agent, you could come up with a resource guide like this. Resource guide, the top 5 safest credit boosting home loans of this year. Frankly, I'd like to have that kind of information. If you're a dentist, you can use a headline for the page, right? So for this, again, for this kind of page, your headline, which would be right here, if you're a dentist, it could be something like this. Buyer's Guide, the top 5 electric toothbrushes of this year, including the one that I use. If you're a coach, then a good name for a resource guide might be something like App Guide, the top 4 iPhone apps for increasing your productivity, including the one that I use every single day. Frankly, I'd want to know the top 5 toothbrushes, electric toothbrushes, including the one that my dentist use. I'd also want to know, this list of apps, right? So these kinds of things would get me to opt in. If you're a marketing agency, you could go with something like this, the top 5 digital marketing tools for local businesses. Hint, the 3 best ones are free. If you're a fitness expert, you could come up with something like this, the only 3 pieces of exercise equipment you need in your home. Hence, they all weigh less than 5 pounds. And from a copywriting perspective, I found that these little curiosity points here really help conversion. Like when you tell someone, you're going to tell them the top 5 electric toothbrushes, including the one that I use, right? If you're a dentist, that's a powerful little curiosity point. If you're going to show people the top 5 digital marketing tools for local businesses and you tell them that like the 3 best are free, that kind of like puts an interesting angle on it and increases conversion. This is also something that works incredibly well and that's really effective. So again, I showed you how you could create one of these pages in lead pages in just a couple minutes. It doesn't take very long at all, and you can change the fonts and add a first name or do whatever you need to do. So why should you create a resource squeeze page? Well, I believe very firmly that this is something that you absolutely must do. If you don't yet have a resource guide squeeze page like this up, you should do it because it takes a couple minutes to do. It doesn't take that much time to create the copy. Just takes a couple minutes. It converts higher than long form opt-in pages that require someone to read a lot of text and watch a lot of video. And frankly, it converts higher than anything we've ever seen. And you can create the opt-in bribe in less than an hour with Microsoft Word and just save that as a PDF. You can also do this. We found that this actually works better for us than a normal opt-in box on the side of a blog. So a lot of times people will have these opt-in boxes on the side of their blog, and these convert okay. But when you have a banner like this, and someone clicks on the banner and goes to a page like this, you'll have a much better opt-in rate than just this opt-in box on the side of your blog. Because when people click on a banner like this and it takes them to a page like this, it sort of brings the decision to a head, right? It's not just a box on the side of a blog anymore. It's a whole new page that they have to make a decision about one way or another. So yeah. So if you already have a squeeze page, I guarantee you that this will outperform whatever you're doing right now, and that you can set this up in minutes. And if you don't have a squeeze page, I guarantee you it will give you amazing results. And I just want to share the results from some of our landing pages like this that folks have created with our software. Eric D says your software got us an 8x improvement over the basic homepage and a 3x improvement, right? So an 800% and a 300% improvement over the previous opt-in. P.S. I'm barely even using all the features. No social proof, a very weak offer, etc. Brian Schwickow said lead pages took my opt-in rate from 8.6% to 23% in a single day. Tarami said, I've been using this for a little over a month, and I noticed today that it's accounting for 71% of my new list subscribers. Wow. So this kind of thing absolutely works. Here's a page that someone created the other day. It took very little time. Again, free report reveals how to look great naked year-round. Get a copy of my No BS book, right? How long do you think it took them to write this copy? Not very long, and it's outperforming almost everything they do. So the first kind of page is the resource guide squeeze page or landing page. The second page that I encourage you to create is a lesson page. And in a second, I'll show you what that looks like. So this says show example. So I guess I'll show you an example. So I'm going to go to list the pages here. I'm going to open them all up. So this is a lesson page, and there's a number of really interesting things about this, and I'm going to explain how it works and why it works. So this is basically a page that I send folks to after they've opted into my list. So after someone opts into my list, I send them, a course, and it's a 6-part course, right? So here's part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6. And there's a lot of things going on here under the hood. The first thing is that there is this progress bar, right? So studies have shown, and our own research have shown, both with us and in our clients, that when you have a progress bar like this, that people have the psychological need to complete the course because they want to bring things that are incomplete to completion. It's kind of a psychological need that we have. So that's one thing that's going on here. Another reason why this progress bar is good is because it lets people know that there is an end to the course. So a lot of times people have these sort of a series of emails that go out after someone opts into their list that just go on forever and ever and ever. And so the way this works is every 3 days, I'll email folks a different part of the course. So on day 1, they'll get this. On day 2, they'll get this. On day 3, it's every 3 days. So on day 1, they'll get this. And then on day 4 they get this. On day 7 they get this, and on day 10 they get this. But when this progress bar is progressing, it shows folks that all of this is coming to an end. That there's an end date at some point, and that we're not just going to be bombarding with them with information forever. So that's another thing that's going on here. Another thing that's going on is that when someone clicks like on this button, right, and they like this page, right? Let's say they do this on page any of these pages. That when someone clicks like, that it actually shows them as liking this page on Facebook. So when someone likes the page, it actually shows them as liking this page on Facebook. So it gets more opt-ins for the entire autoresponder course. So that's really good. You'll notice that across all these pages, it says 67 likes, right? Because it's all a like for, again, for this page. So that's another thing that's going on here. Another thing that's going on here is that there are Facebook comments. And again, when someone leaves a comment on this page, it shows them in Facebook as liking, again, this page. So it's driving more traffic back to this page. And the reason why I did this was not because I wanted to fool anyone, but it's because I don't want someone leaving a comment here at part 5 or part 6 of the course and having someone start at part 6 of the course, because it's a course with a logical progression. And so the best way for someone to experience the course is to opt in so that we can give them the course over a series of days. Another thing that's going on here is that there is a buy button here. So in each of these video lessons, I share some good information, and I tell people, basically how they can get more, right? If they have Lead Player. So I'll give some information that is by itself of value, and then I'll let them know that if they want more, they can get Lead Player. So that's how this works. And this is absolutely creating the majority of the sales in our business. Other than our sales page where everyone buys from us, this is the most lucrative kind of page in our business. And it's how we do our autoresponders. So when someone joins our list, I'll show you how this works. When someone joins our list, they opt in on this page, right? Then they get this free report. And then every 3 days, they get another email that sends them to one of these lesson pages. So again, I guess it's easier if I just say this is day 3. So they'll download this. 3 days later, they get this. 3 days later, they get this, right? So this is 6 days out. 9 days later, they get this. And then 12 days later, they get this. So, and all of these pages are delivered on, again, this kind of lesson page that progresses over time. And this has been huge for us. It was last month's highest grossing web page other than our sales page. So here's how this works. After someone opts in, they get one of these lessons every 3 days for about 6 weeks. And this is where all the money really is made in our business. It's been said before that the fortune is in the follow-up, and I believe that to be true. And when you have a autoresponder sequence like this in place in your business, it means that you don't just make money when you launch. It means that you don't just make money when you do a webinar. It means that you don't just make money when there's some sort of promotion or the cart's closing or there's some kind of crazy whatnot and hoopla going on. It means that you get paid each and every day in your business. It means you can take vacations. It means that even when you're not launching something, you don't have to worry about money. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. And so how do you set this up, right? Because you can do this. It isn't very difficult to do. Every 3 days, I encourage you to create a video blog post where you teach something that is 100% valuable on its own, right? So every 3 days, create a video blog post where you teach something that is inherently of value. And then at the end of that video blog post, point out something extra that folks would get if they bought your product. So teach something and then mention something extra that folks would get if they had your product. Initially, when you make this kind of video blog post, email your entire list about the blog post. And then after that, add the blog post to your video lesson sequence. So I'll show you what I mean here. But get 6 weeks of emails together. So here's what I mean. All right. So here's one of my blogs. And originally, what is here on this video lesson page, I just posted it to my blog and I emailed my entire list about this post, right? My entire list knew about this. But then a couple days later, I took this just blog post that I posted on my blog and I added it to one of these pages, right? One of these video lesson pages, these autoresponder pages. I just call it a lesson page. And added it to my follow-up sequence. And what we found is that this page, because of the design and the layout and the big buy now button, but this page out converts putting this on a normal blog page by about 4 times. So you can take the same content that you would post on your blog and add it to a follow-up sequence so that that content isn't just valuable to you when you let your blog know about it, but it's valuable to you for the life of your business because it's automated as part of what you do. And I want to show you how you can create one of these kinds of pages in Lead Pages using our Lead Pages software. So it's pretty easy to do. Just go to Templates, And let's go find that one. I believe it's got, here it is. Video lesson page for autoresponder follow-up. So I'm going to click on use this template. And again, you can, put your logo here. You can download your logo and add it. Hey, there's Carrie and Paul. Okay, so I'm going to click on OK. And, you can change all the colors and layout on this page. But what's cool about this page is that when you change, what part of the course you're in, the progress bar updates. So if I want to say, that it's a 9-part series and that this is part 2, watch the progress bar update as I do this, right? It updates it because, if you're in part 2 of a 9-part series, then you're 22.2% complete. All of these elements on the page can be hidden or turned off. So if I don't want my logo there, and frankly, I don't want to have to come up with a description, I can just, hide all this stuff. And to put a video here, I would just go to, you can use whatever video software you're using or video player. It works with any video player, but I would just find a video that I wanted to put here. See, it says the width is 600, so it tells you what the dimension should be. So I'm just going to go to share and embed and set the width to, I believe it was 600. Make sure that's right. I'm just going to grab that embed code from YouTube and post it here. And this page now has this video on it. And you can change the text on this button really quickly. So like, buy my thing. And then, you can link to wherever. And I can turn this area off. And let's just go ahead and publish this. So it could be like lesson page demo. And so this page is immediately available. And, a lot of times I get questions on how this works with WordPress. So we give you a URL that you can use, or you can publish it to WordPress. If it's a Facebook page, you can publish it directly to Facebook, or you can just download the file and put it on your server. So I'm going to show you how this works with WordPress. So I'm just going to log into WordPress. And I'm just going to go find the Lead Pages plugin. This is super easy to do. So I'm going to click on Add New. So I just went here to Lead Pages, and I clicked on Add New. And all I have to do is find the page. So here's a page called Lesson Page Demo. And I'm just going to call it Lesson Demo. And I'm going to click on Publish. And it immediately published it to my own domain at /lesson demo. So this page is live. And if you want to add Facebook comments, you can do that as well. I mean, we could, here, I'll show you. We can turn that off in a second. So if we wanted to turn off the Facebook comments or add our own Facebook comments, we could do that. So we just go to Facebook comments, and for now, I'll just turn that off so those don't show up. So let me just save this page again. And as you can see, the Facebook comments are gone. So, it's pretty easy to do. Here are some comments we had about this kind of page. Nick Rogue wrote, he said, I had to upgrade my existing auto response lessons using this page. They just look that much better, and they have been converting better too. Rodney said this, the results are back from the split test, and this page outperformed the original page by 26%. It went from 31.99% to 40%. Google Analytics says the probability that your page would continue to outperform the original is 99.1. So again, that's how it works. You take your normal blog posts and you repurpose them in a sequence like this, where every 3 days an email goes out sending people to another lesson page. This has been crushing it for us. This has been creating, repeat success and sales that come in every single day. And it's really set us free from launches in a lot of ways. So the third type of page is the webinar registration page. That's the third kind of page that you should have in your business. So why webinars? Well, webinars have made us more money than anything we've ever done as a software company. When we do B2B sales into, marketing agencies and things like that, webinars are what work better than anything else. And frankly, the majority of Fortune 500 B2B software companies are using webinars to sell their software. The majority of coaches who are having success are using webinars to do it. People selling information products are doing incredibly well with webinars. In fact, I know entire multi-million-dollar businesses that run entirely off of a webinar registration page and a follow-up sequence and one sales page. So basically, like 3 pages: a webinar registration page, a thank you page, and a sales page, and an email list. So webinars are absolutely crushing it right now. And in a lot of ways, they're an all-in-one magic bullet for your business. Webinars provide quality traffic, right? Because it's traffic that stays with you for a while. It's traffic that is willing to spend a good hour in relationship with you, learning from you, and that's hard to have online these days, right? When everyone has such a short attention span. Webinars provide incredibly high conversion. Webinars convert higher than anything I've ever seen in terms of like an appointment marketing event. Webinars also provide partnerships. It's very unlikely that the top player in your market is going to email their entire list to your sales page. But if you can get them to do a webinar with you, and they only need to tell their followers in their list about a webinar, then it becomes much more comfortable, right? Because they're only sending people to a webinar registration page. Webinars also allow you to quickly create products, both free and paid products. So in the past, I found myself with like content block or like writer's block. And the quickest way to get over that is to set a time that I'm going to do a webinar and then actually just do the webinar. And it forces me to show up at a specific place at a specific time because I know people are going to be there and I know that I need to deliver content. So it helps me overcome my perfectionism. Webinars, again, are also great for content block. They're great for establishing rapport. Like when else in this digitally connected age do you get to spend an hour or so with people online? It's pretty rare. And webinars are great for getting your customers' attention in a world of divided attention. And so I believe that right now, developing a webinar asset is probably the highest leverage marketing activity you can do in your business. Period. Webinars are also the best shot of getting someone out of your league to promote for you. So I'm going to show you some of the of the webinar pages that we've used, right? So here's one. If I go to marketing, right, that's not the URL. I think it was. So here's one, and right, this is for today's webinar. And there's a bunch of reasons why this works so well and why this converts so well. One reason is that it has a two-step opt-in process, right? So when folks show up at a page and they immediately see an opt-in box, what that does is it shows that the purpose of that page is to take, not to get. And so by hiding that opt-in box or putting it one level deep, you can increase your opt-in rate by 30% or more, or up to 30% and more. So here's what I mean. You don't immediately see the opt-in box, but when you click on this button, now you see it. So there's a number of things going on here. One of the things going on is sort of the principle of micro commitments, that if you can get someone to click on this button, then it makes it much more likely that they'll opt in, right? If you can get someone to take a small action, if you can get your foot in the door with a small action, then folks are much more likely to complete a larger action for you. It's called the foot in the door technique. It's also just called behavioral inertia, right? If you can get someone to act in some way, they're much more likely to act in a larger way, right, by opting in. So that's one of the things going on this page. But there's a number of things going on this on this beautiful mobile responsive page. Here's another example of a webinar registration page that we've used with great success. And again, it's the same kind of thing going on. There's a two-step opt-in process, and that's been absolutely crushing it for us. So we're having a lot of luck with these kinds of pages. They're doing incredibly well for us. So what I recommend you do is that you do your webinar sort of in this sequence. I recommend that you do it after your third email. So folks opt in here. They get your free report. They get, after 3 days, they get the first email. 3 days later, they get the second email. 3 days later, they get the third email. And then after that, they get the invitation to your webinar registration page, right? So you can do a webinar with them. So here's the process that I recommend. Do one webinar every 2 weeks. Do them live, and they're going to convert much, much, much better as live events. And when you do them live, again, you can directly answer people's questions. And this is one of your few opportunities to talk directly with customers in a live setting. So it's a wonderful thing for your business, and you can get amazing feedback about what you're doing. And so I'm going to show you how to create a webinar registration page in Lead Pages. So again, let's see. We're going to go to just templates. And we're going to find a webinar registration page. Aha, here's one. And what we recently did to this is our highest converting webinar registration pages. You can do it for one guest or for two, or one host or for two. And one of the things we recently added was this countdown timer, which is kind of cool. And you can set this to be the time of your webinar. So it counts down until the date of your webinar. Again, every element of this page can be changed: the fonts, the color scheme. Let's go make one for for Carrie and Paul, two great-looking people. And you can have Facebook comments going on here. These pages not only look better than the default webinar registration pages that come with tools like GoToWebinar, but they actually convert much, much better as well. And so to integrate with our email service provider, all we need to do is go to opt-in form integration. Choose what we use. I only have a couple loaded up here, but we can use a whole bunch of them. So I'm going to say I want it to integrate with this list in Infusion, or I'm sorry, in Aweber. And also, when people opt in for the webinar, it's also going to add them to this webinar that we're doing. So when someone opts in, it actually adds them not only to our email list, but also to the registration for the webinar. So I'm going to save this to my pages and call it like webinar page demo. And here you can see the page is live. And again, it is mobile responsive. So that's kind of cool. And you can publish this to Facebook with a click of a button. I can show you how to do that a little bit later. So our webinar registration pages convert. these convert incredibly well because of the principles that we've shown you. I just got this the other day. FYI, your webinar registration template converted higher than any webinar page we've ever used. We've gotten registration rates as high as 60% before, but this one topped out at 74% and averaged 65% registration rate. Such an awesome template. Samantha Harley said, by the way, when we switched from one of our old pages to this one, we doubled the conversion rate. Ryan Dice said, a few weeks ago, I held a webinar and the registration page converted at 72%. This was by far the highest converting landing page I've ever tested. Confession, I didn't design it and neither did my webmaster, but I was able to make it in 3 minutes using Lead Pages. And Lead Pages creates way more than just webinar pages. I'm able to create squeeze pages, thank you pages, video pages, and more in just a few minutes. Brian Dice, by the way, tests more than anyone I know. And so I'm really honored that we broke all the records for webinar registration pages. And there's his page. Andy Andrews said, we also got a 70% conversion rate with that template. I guess that means my copy is as good as Ryan Dice's. He can't blame me for dreaming, right? So these pages convert, and in fact, I would go so far to say, and I know this to be true, that our webinar registration pages are the highest converting webinar registration pages that our industry has seen. They haven't lost a split test yet that I've seen. They're breaking everyone's records and they're absolutely crushing it for a lot of people. And we've had coaches who have doubled or tripled, for example, the webinar registration rate for their webinars and have effectively doubled and tripled their business by virtue
Hey,
of being
Clay.
able to get more people on their webinars. Hey, Paul.
Hey, man, Carrie already mentioned it, but some of those who came on late, we had the highest opt-in rate ever for this webinar, and there's no doubt that it's because of your designs, because of it being tested and because it being so clean and sharp, and so we've been blown away by it. We use it, and we've been using it, but guys, when you hear this, he's not, just pulling out stats that sound good. We've experienced it. It's super awesome, so we really appreciate it.
That's awesome, Paul. It's so good to hear it. It really it makes it worth it every single day to hear people getting results like that. So thanks for sharing that. Another reason why our pages convert so well is that they're frankly fast. So our pages, even though they look like they're hosted on your own server, they're actually being hosted on the Google server network. So they're being hosted on the same servers that Google runs on. And that's really important when it comes to conversion because a 1 second delay in page response can result in a 7% reduction in conversion. So every second, and in fact, every millisecond counts when it comes to conversion and the speed of your pages. So for example, if an e-commerce site is making $100,000 per day, a 1 second page delay could potentially cost you $2.5 million in lost sales every day. And 40% of people abandon a website that takes more than 3 seconds to load. So page speed isn't just about vanity. It's not about annoying people. It's about dollars and cents, which is why Lead Pages works on Google's server network. So the fourth and final page involved in this is the sales page. And that's where people actually come to buy from you. And what I'm finding works the best these days are just really simple video sales letters. So let me go and find my favorite one. So I really like this one. And I'll just show you how you can customize. I mean, you can even turn off the logo if you want. So, I could put like a lead player logo in here, or I could scroll down and get rid of the logo altogether. If I click on this text, I can change the text to be whatever I want it to be. To add a video to this, all I would have to do is, let's see, what should this be? 857. Let me just change this. 857 by 482. All right, so that's all I have to do to add a video here. I just grabbed some YouTube embed code and put it here. And what's really cool about this is that this has what are called magic buy buttons. So I'll show you how that works. It means that we can set a time for this button to appear on the page. So we found, and Ryan Dice has found, and a lot of people have found, that you can get up to a 100% increase in conversions if you don't show the buy now button until you get to the offer part of the video. So if you have a 15-minute sales video and you only start like pitching the product uh, after 10 minutes, then the buy now button shouldn't appear until 10 minutes into the video. So at the beginning, you're just explaining the concept behind your product and you're explaining why it's important and you're explaining who you are, but you're not actually like selling a product yet. So you should not show this buy now button until you're actually selling the product in that video. So we can go here to the buy now button and we can change everything about this, and it integrates with PayPal or whatever you're using. And I can go here into fade inbox and, let's say I want it to appear, let's say after 8 seconds, right? Because I just want to be able to demonstrate this to you. It means this whole area isn't going to appear until 8 seconds. So I'll call this like VSL demo. So I'll go ahead and save this page. And let's see what happens after 8 seconds. All right, so after this page had been loaded for 8 seconds, this area appears. And this is actually incredibly remarkable and something that a lot of people would like to do in their marketing, but just don't have the tools and resources to do. So let me just explain a little bit about why these magic buy buttons work. So Ralph said this, "Thanks so much, Clay. You and your team rock. I just signed up earlier today and within a couple of minutes had my video sales page up," right? So they did this in a couple of minutes. But why do these magic buy now buttons work where they're delayed? Well, this is what Digital Marketer Labs had to say. Magic buy buttons. When it comes to variables that whisper, rarely do you find one that doubles conversions. But the magic buy button does. When the order button isn't visible when the prospect first arrives, your video sales page looks like regular content, not a sales page. When your video sales letter reaches its call to action, Shazam, your buy button magically appears. But prospects have kept an open mind throughout the video. So people have an open mind throughout the video, and then when you go to sell the product, the button appears, and that's why it doubles conversions. So the 4 pages are the resource guide squeeze page, the lesson page, the webinar registration page, and the video sales page. And so I just want to talk for a second about why I created lead pages. I didn't always have a team of 10 people. And I remember when I first got started online and in business, and I remember getting creamed by people who had entire teams devoted to doing split tests for them and entire teams devoted to making high converting landing pages. And I remember that time. And I also know what it's like to have huge ambitions for your business, but yet having to spend an entire week doing something as simple as getting up a basic opt-in page and figuring out how to integrate it and figuring out how to add it on WordPress. And I frankly think it's sad and unfortunate that so many people who want to change the world and deserve to have the kind of business that they want to have, that so many people like that end up spending large quantities of time doing basic things like getting up a simple video sales page, or getting up an opt-in page, or getting up a thank you page. And that's why I created lead pages, because I wanted to level the playing field. Uh, and so today, on this webinar, I want to give you the opportunity to join Paul and Carrie and I and everyone on this webinar uh, in in doing this together. We're going to be embarking on this journey of creating these 4 pages in our business and optimizing them. And so I want to offer you lead pages. And we have a special bonus. We actually have a number of bonuses for people who purchase on today's webinar. The first bonus that we're going to give to you is that we're actually going to design for you a resource list opt-in bribe. So before I showed you this page, right, this DIY report, well, this actually didn't start as a DIY, or it didn't actually start off beautiful like this. I just really went into Microsoft Word and typed in a bunch of resources that I wanted to give away. But then I handed it off to my graphic designer, and he made it look like a high perceived value report like this. So if you purchase lead pages on today's call, then we'll actually take the list of resources that you want to give away as an opt-in bribe, and we'll turn it into a beautiful report for you. Our designer, our full-time in-house designer, will design this resource list for you based on just a simple text document. That's a $197 value at least. The next thing that you're going to get when you join us with today and join this group of people is you're going to get our webinar course, and that's a $197 value. This is actually a course that I sold for about a year and a half on how to do webinars and how to set them up and how to get affiliates to promote them for you and how to make them convert. And it has done amazing things for people's businesses. And so I figure if you're going to have, this bribe that goes with the first page that I showed you, and if you're going to have a webinar registration page, then I might as well give you my course on how to do webinars. The next thing that you're going to get if you join us today is you're going to get 5 free landing page critiques. And I'm in an amazing position right now in that the top marketers, and I don't want to name drop because I don't think it's really fair, but the top marketers come to me with their highest converting pages, and they show me what works. They ask me to integrate those pages into lead pages. And also, owning the Lead Pages platform, or being one of the co-owners of the Lead Pages platform, we get to see split test data all day long. And so I know what works. I know what doesn't work. And when you purchase today, I will critique 5 landing pages that you create with Lead Pages. And I will do that personally. I'm not going to outsource that to someone else. I'll look at 5 of your pages and I'll critique them for you. The next thing you're going to get when you join today at leadpages.net/CP, that's for Carrie and Paul. But the next thing that you're going to get when you purchase through this link is you're going to get our landing page course. So we're going to give you our entire 4-hour long landing page course. And frankly, a lot of the things that we teach in there are just sort of built into the designs in lead pages. But if you want to know the theory behind how they work and why they work and what goes into creating a high converting landing page, then you can get this landing page as a bonus for purchasing today on this webinar. The next thing you're going to get is a course that I used to sell for $1,000. I sold this for 2 years and it cost $1,000. And it's called the Pre-Sell Formula. And the Pre-Sell Formula is all about how to co-create a product with your audience and pre-sell it to them before that product exists. So, back when we created our very first software product, we actually pre-sold it to our list, and we made $20,000, and we used that $20,000, when we were first getting started to fund the beginning of the company. Lead Pages has been around for a long time now, and we're a long ways out from the pre-sale. It exists, and we have some of the top marketers, but we've used this in our own business and had amazing results. So those are the bonuses that you get when you purchase on today's call. Just a little bit about um, the results people have had with the pre-sale formula. This is Kim West. She generated a list of 750 people, and she used the pre-sale formula to make $71,000 to fund the creation of her course before she created it. This is Paul Durand. He Peter Durand. He doodles on whiteboards, and he taught a course on how to doodle on whiteboards. Like literally, it wasn't like how to sell the service. It was just here's how to doodle on whiteboards, and made $45,000. So those are the bonuses that you get when you purchase today at leadpages.net/CP. And I guess I can answer questions now.
I love all of that, Clay. Love those bonuses. Those are off the chart.
We we wanted to make this a no-brainer for people, and as much as we think software can change the world, we also think information is important. So we wanted to not only give folks the tools to use this stuff, but we wanted to give them a combination of some courses on some information on the theory behind it. If people want it, they don't have to have it. And then we wanted to give them sort of like live critiques so that they can get feedback on the landing pages that they're creating.
Love that. If you guys have any aha moments, put that in the Q section there. And also, if you got any questions for Clay at all, go ahead and enter those right now. So far, I don't even see any questions in there. You did such a great job covering everything. But if anything hits you like, aha, man, I've never thought of that. That's super cool. Put that in there. And if you got any questions, put those in as well. I love, and I'd actually text Carrie about this, and she tweeted about it. I was already working on a resource page the minute you put that up, because so many people do reports, and here's your special report of X, Y, and Z, but you're right. People love tools. They love the resources, and it's so much easier to convert because people don't feel like they're going to be set up for the sale with a resource or a tool. It's some of our easiest sales because people do love to use what we're using. So I love that whole approach right out of the gate.
Awesome. And I want to thank everyone who's joined so far. So Steve M. From, it looks like Salt Lake City, Utah. Thanks for joining us. Mir J. Thanks for joining us. I also want to thank Larry K. for joining us. Thanks for joining this group of people that are embarking on this journey today. I want to thank let's see. I guess those are the last few orders that came in, but I want to thank everyone else who's joined today and embarked on this journey with us. So thank you so much. And I guess we can go back to answering some questions. It looks like a whole bunch of them have gone in. Someone says, will this apply to those that have more traditional sites or nonprofits? And the answer is absolutely yes. We designed these pages to be beautiful, and so you can respectably use them in any kind of business. Our webinar registration pages have been used by every kind of business imaginable. So, nonprofits, physical products, digital products, coaching, software sales, anything you can imagine. And we have users who use it that way. We've got thousands of users right now, and it spans the gamut. Someone says, can we use a subscription on more than one website? Absolutely, you can use a subscription on more than one